Okay, now open your mind up and listen to me, Kendrick. I'm your conscience. If you do not hear me, then you will be history, Kendrick. I know that you're nauseous right now, and I'm hoping to lead you to victory, Kendrick. Look, man, I'm thinking about this today because I didn't have a good start to my day. Like, low key, I've been in a bad mood. And this is not about my story, this is about your story. It's actually low key, us together, we're experiencing a lot of pain, whether that comes through depression or anxiety or just simply like hopelessness or distraction from purpose, and so many reasons to be upset and just hateful of the world and how life came to be. Like, it seems like there's so much struggle, and it's really intelligent to ask yourself why. You know what I'm saying? Why does life have to be this way? And there's really 1,000 reasons to be depressed. And that's a hyperbole, but take it with what you will. It does feel like that. It feels that way. Whether that's truthful or not, it certainly feels that way, especially with how the world is going. And, I found myself asking, why is it harder to be happy? Why is it harder to experience joy and to sustain that joy over time, to not be distracted or to not experience hardship after a season of joy? Why is it so hard to sustain? And let alone, why is it hard to feel joy in these moments, especially in this era of so much going on? I'm low-key beating around the bush. Um, what I've come to understand is that maybe, just maybe, we will never make sense of why it is so hard to generate joy compared to compared to how easy it is to feel the negative emotions that come with living in a society like anxiety, depression. Maybe we will just never make sense of it. And I know that's the toughest because the rational mind, I know a lot of you guys have rational minds. I do too. But maybe we're just not meant to make sense of it. Maybe we're not meant to understand why living happily is harder than having a bad day and living in depression and anxiety and all that and mental illness. Like, why is it so much harder to create a life of joy that is actually sustainable? Maybe we're not meant to ask the question why. Maybe we're meant to ask the question, all right, what should we do? You know what I'm saying? We're here now. What should we do? Even if there's 1,000 reasons to be depressed, and trust me, our mind is so powerful, we can legit find 1,000 reasons to be depressed. But our mind is so powerful, we can also create at least 20 reasons to be the opposite, to generate joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can legit generate happiness and joy in the present moment with at least 20 reasons. Because, yeah, quantifiably, 20 reasons to be happy is 980 less reasons than being depressed. You know what I'm saying? Because there's 1,000 reasons to be depressed. But if we can place our attention on those 20 reasons to be happy, or at least return to a peace of mind and tapping in with our higher self and strengthening our relationship with our higher self and with God and this universe, I feel like we have so much power than we know, and we should place our attention on just those 20 reasons, no matter how hard it may be. And although it's valuable to ask yourself why this is hard, I've done that work for myself and I haven't come to any conclusions as to why it's hard to do that. Although we could make a hypothesis right now and test it. Maybe it's because social media exacerbates this problem. Um, because when we wake up and it's the first hour of the day, we get on our phone, social media is 95% negative. And what do you know? It reflects the human mind, the human's tendency to generate 95% negative thoughts and 5% positive thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That ratio is so ginormous. So that is one of the solutions, is to stop waking up to social media, but rather to, like, let's say you downloaded like the most positive affirmations YouTube videos and you start listening to that every morning. That's one solution I find. But like I said before, social media is only a symptom of a cause of a much larger, deeply rooted issue called the Matrix, and how every single day we live in the Matrix and we're constantly bombarded with distractions and reasons to be depressed. So, yes, maybe in actuality, there's hundreds upon hundreds of reasons to be depressed. I mean, after all, there is genuine reason to feel hopeless with how AI is advancing and human connection is declining. Like, social media is only dividing us further and further, and AI is only, we're becoming dependent upon it, and it's only isolating us further and further, causing even more division. So there's reasons to be hopeless that are really genuine reasons. But if we can use the power of our mind to generate at least 20, 15, even 10 reasons to be happy today, even if we have to force that happiness, even if we have to fake it till we make it, it's just what we gotta do. It's what's best for us. It's what's best for us. It is so easy to fall into that victim mentality, to be a victim of life, to basically ask all these nihilistic questions about why we're even here, in a depressive sense of asking those questions. But there's got to be a time where we just step up and place our foot down and acknowledge our power and our responsibility. Because with great power comes great responsibility to turn things around, to create a new world, to create a new world of generating. I love that word generating today. I don't know why, but generating newfound joy and blessings and reasons to be happy today. Reasons to call today a good day. Reasons to be in a good mood. Even, like I said before, if we have to fake it till we make it. Even when it feels ingenuine. I believe in fake it till you make it. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's the law of assumption. You know what I'm saying? You assume you're happy, then your mind's going to start generating positive thoughts and giving you reasons to be happy, and it's going to be a gift that keeps on giving. But it is definitely hard in practice, and I don't want to. My meat is sizzling right now, high key. I need to flip this meat real quick. Pause. I don't know if my sizzling of the dish is louder than my voice right now, but high key. Where's my spoon at? Here we go. All right. I'm about to read your comments real quick, y'all. Just know I will never dismiss how hard life is. Life is super hard for all of us. That is truly what I'm coming to recognize. Life is not meant to be easy. And that's not just an assumption I made out of ignorance, but rather life experience. Okay? And from observation of other people's lives, like, all of us got it rough, bro. All of humanity's in the same boat. We're all little tiny pieces of stardust who's living on a rotating rock in a vast universe. It can seem like things are pointless for real. And trust, bro, that's a lot of pain right there. Trying to cope with this idea that our lives may be pointless. Oh man, that's a lot of pain right there. But at least God does a lot of wonderful things for us that we don't know. But at least God made it obvious that we have the power of the mind to turn things around, to generate positive momentum. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, society has a lot of negative momentum. We can admit that. Especially with the rise of social media and AI and all that. But at least God made it obvious to us about the power of the mind to generate positive momentum and to give power to positive thoughts, uplifting thoughts, limitless thoughts, thoughts that create solutions. You know what I'm saying? Like creating solutions for real. And that's what gives me hope in a vast majority of hopelessness. That's like the little sparkle of hope that I hold on to, is this idea that our minds really are that powerful to create a new heaven on earth versus what the vast majority of society might create, which is hell on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm placing all my faith on that sparkle of hope. And really, that sparkle of hope arises from many, many spiritual truths that I've realized over the years, many metaphysical truths that I've realized over the years about the power of the mind and the spirit and faith and all that. And turning that faith into a true understanding to the point where, oh, it's not I believe anymore, it's I know. And yet, so often we're distracted from those truths and we go right back into a state of hopelessness. But hey, as long as we can cling on to a little bit of hope in an immersion of hopelessness, then I feel like we're on the right path. We're definitely on the right path if we can cling on to that little bit of hope. And that's where we start to generate positive momentum. We back. Gratitude is the best attitude. Even in the Bible, it says rejoice and give thanks to the Lord. Yeah, and that's what's so difficult too. Because the rational mind, which we all have rational minds, I would like to assume. The rational mind wants to ask why. Like, why should I feel grateful? Or try to practice gratitude. Why when I'm feeling all these negative emotions? Why when the world's like this? You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to play victim. It's so easy to ask questions from victimhood rather than asking questions from the basis of being grateful for the universe. See, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how we can exercise our rationality from the vibration of gratitude. So often we exercise our rationality. We operate from that vibration of, let's say, hopelessness, for example, and victimhood. Having that mentality, we operate from that mentality versus, but maybe I'm yapping, maybe I'm not, who knows. I'm definitely cooking right now for sure. Yes, sir. I do gotta clean up my kitchen just a little bit. I'm just trying to flip this negative into a positive as much as I can. You gotta flip that negative into a positive, baby. Gratitude is the best attitude. Even in the Bible, it says rejoice. This is the will of Jesus. We often look for what's negative rather than what's positive, which is what I find everyone, including myself at times, to look at. I'm starting to practice gratitude again. Like he said, a victim mindset is never good, and stepping into what truly matters and taking action towards what you truly want is the end goal. The world will always push the opposite of what you want. Man, if that ain't one of the truest things I've heard today. If that ain't one of the truest things I've heard today. See, how to love life when there's 1,000 reasons to be depressed. If we can boil it down to one statement, focus on the 20 reasons to not be depressed, even if the number of reasons is far, far less than the number of reasons to be depressed. Does that make sense? Like, because the power of the mind, we can place our attention anywhere. We can allow certain ideas to be maintained in our minds at any time and for how long we want and for how much focus we can place onto those ideas. That is untapped potential. That is a very, very uncommon realization about the power of the mind that I hope to spread the truth about. So, like Moda said, a victim mentality is never good. We got to step into what truly matters and take actions towards what we truly want instead of the world who, yes, we want to contribute to the world, but there's many, many, many distractions and so much negativity that is being hurled our way constantly, especially with social media and the way things are going with social media and AI. Just negative opinions on the rise and rage bait on the rise and division. It seems like we're becoming more divided than ever. We're becoming more isolated than ever because of ChatGPT and our dependency upon it. But there is a very real avenue that we can pursue and walk on in which we contribute to the world and we improve our lives in the process while negotiating. I call it negotiating with the world, the matrix, so to speak, society. Like we can still negotiate with society and all of its negativity and basically create our own world within this world, if that makes sense. Like, yes, we're going to come across negativity. We're going to come across people who are vibrating on these negative frequencies. But we can also generate our own aura. You know what I'm saying? We can generate our own aura and help create a new world within this world. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that's simple, but if not, I understand if I haven't perfectly elaborated or explained that. But um Motive said, this whole morning I've been having the talk with God and truly reflecting upon myself and what I need to do to get to where I want to be, but also understanding that I cannot do it alone. Yes, yes, yes. And this is one of the most important questions you have to ask yourself. Are you better off alone? Are you better off trying to achieve your vision alone, like truly alone? Or are you better off being vulnerable, being transparent with your support group? Are you better off doing the scary thing and going out and seeking your support group, going out and seeking your brotherhood, your community that will hold you accountable so that you can truly become better versus having to do it all alone where you are susceptible to giving power to your own negative thought loops? Ooh, you got to think about that. Ask yourself, am I better off alone? Like that song, do you think you're better off alone? Do you think you're better off alone? Do, do, do. Like, yeah, I see what you mean, Motives, for sure. Reflecting upon myself and what I need to do to get where I want to be, but also understanding that we cannot do it alone. Oh, and like you said, when we break down life to the core, you do some, you do come to stance where you say life is pointless, which part of my mind does wander to, but this should not be looked at as negative. Yeah, that's the thing too. We love to make assumptions. The human mind, especially the rational mind, but irrational minds do this too. We all make assumptions. Um, it's we're so it's so natural for us to quickly assume that these existential questions are negative. Like, let's say, for example, why does life feel meaningless? Sure, the negative emotion is there. We truly feel it. But the why question itself is low-key neutral because you can point it in a positive direction by seeking out positive answers, by searching within for your own strength to create your own meaning in this life. Yo, I'm spitting so much wisdom right now, y'all. I'm literally in real time helping me and whoever may watch this. It might be you, but I'm also helping myself. Like we all need help. We're all in the same boat of how natural it is for us to turn to negativity. Bro, why am I stuttering so crazy right now? My mind's on overload with how many insights I'm receiving and having to speak at the same time. But yes, um, just because your mind wanders to it, you don't have to feel the negative emotion. A lot of times, that negative emotion is just a natural occurring circumstance based on your history and what your brain has a history of doing. So it just repeats that pattern. But we are the higher awareness above that pattern that can break that pattern. Like, we're not our brains, we're the awareness above our brains. So that's why we have the capacity to change our brains through neuroplasticity. Mm, mm. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, rather saying life is pointless, which means we can go all out on our goals because no one's going to care or stop us ultimately anyways. Yeah, that's the thing too. We cannot be quick to make negative assumptions. Let's be open-minded to receiving both the negative and the neutral and the positive assumptions without actually making those assumptions first, but trying to just dissect it. You know what I'm saying? Dissect these thoughts we're having and try to make sense of why we're having these thoughts, I call it going meta. You know what I'm saying? Going meta, having this meta awareness. I'm not talking about Facebook meta. I'm talking about the literal concept itself of going meta, right? Maybe that's the best news, is the fact that because none of this matters, we can create our own meaning and nothing's going to stop us from creating what we want. Like if if I told you that life is a sandbox video game, like life is a sandbox video game, you should perceive that as positive news because, hey, I'm telling you, life is not an escape room. Life is not a movie where you have no agency, but life is a sandbox video game. That would be the best news you could receive because that means you can create any reality you want to experience versus life being a movie where you're kind of like the actor who's stuck and he has to fulfill basically things that are not free will. Life being a sandbox suggests that you have free will and that you're free to do whatever you want versus life being an escape room, for example. Or what's this other example I'm thinking of? Amen, amen. There's this other example I was thinking of where people say life is a blank. Life is this, life is that, life is blank. You always can change your perspective to something that gives you more agency, aka freedom to act, as well as optimism. You know what I'm saying? You have the power of the mind to pursue an optimistic perspective and give power to that optimistic perspective compared to the much common pessimistic perspectives about what life truly is. You know what I'm saying? And this all goes back to my video title. Like, yes, on a real note, there is 1,000 reasons to be depressed. But if we can create at least 10, 15, 20 reasons to be grateful for today and just exercise gratitude for our blessings and try to generate happiness from there, then, hey, at least we have 10, 15, 20 reasons. It don't matter what the number is. It don't matter if 20 is less than 1,000. We have the power to place our attention on those 20 reasons to be happy versus the abundance of 1,000 reasons to be depressed. Does that make sense? Like, we can place our attention anywhere. We can place our attention towards the distractions or towards the spiritual truths that keep us grounded, the spiritual truths that maintain our peace of mind, the spiritual truths that bring true joy that can be sustained over the course of our lives. But anyways, Chef Tiller in the building, Chef Jacob in the building. Woke up Jacob because I woke up actually on the wrong side of bed today. Like, I did not feel good at the beginning of today. And that's because I did some goofy stuff. I went on social media and what did I receive? What did I feed my mind today in the first hour of my day? I went on X and I received negative news about the world and it spiraled from there. See, this is what momentum is all about. You can generate negative momentum or you can generate positive momentum. That's why the first hour of your day is so important. It's so important, the first hour of your day and what you do in that time frame. The type of news, like you set yourself up, like the foundation for how the day is going to go. The rest of the day is going to go. You start out in a good mood or in a bad mood. Bad mood. None of y'all heard that, bro. None of y'all heard that. Okay, so I'm gonna read comments now. Yeah, we gotta keep surpassing our limits, and guess what? 99.99% of limits are self-created within our own minds. All defeat is psychological until our literal death. You get that, right? Like, all defeat is psychological until our literal death because we've overcome everything so far. Wow, how beautiful is it that the human mind and the human body is so resilient and persevering to overcome all these obstacles, and we can stand here, right now, stand here today, breathing, expressing our voice, and loving life despite everything we've gone through, and everything we will have to go through in this lifetime. all defeat will still be psychological. Bro, life is perspective, baby. Hey, life is perspective. Yeah, so Motive says, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Our mind does wander to the realistic reality and outcome of what others say. Yep. We conform to others people's assumptions about how the world is gonna turn out. Oh, we're living in hell. You see this viral tweet where it's like an AI generated photo, right? It's Nano Banana Pro generating a photo of that's really realistic, and the reactions to it are so negative. You know what I'm saying? Because of the rise of AI and so much fake in this world, it's a very common reaction to be negative and say that we're living in hell. But we do not have to succumb and be conformists to those assumptions. We can hear those assumptions out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying block negativity entirely. There's valuable lessons to be learned with the negativity and negative assumptions that society makes, but we don't have to be victims to it either. We can easily hear those out and be like, okay, what are some positive assumptions I can make about what's happening right now in the current state of politics and the current state of advancement of AI and how social media is going? We can create positive assumptions and give power to those even in the midst of an abundance of negativity. Does that make sense? So hopefully that makes sense. I'm basically building upon what the pinned message is right now from Motives. Like, we don't have to conform to the realistic expectations that society has. We can always fight for a better world than what is currently where it's currently heading. We can fight for an even better world. You know. Hey, what's good, bro? What's good, bro? JJ Sheem 02. I don't think I pronounced your name right, bro. I'm so sorry about that. Like, I remember you from the very beginning, dude. Like, I appreciate your support throughout all these years because legit, you're a real one. You're an OG. Your support, it means a lot to me. But also, my bad for butchering your name. Like, low key, that was goofy the way I said it. Motives says, yeah, no matter what, we always need someone or something that can guide us in the right direction. God, friends, coaches, other YouTubers. It's okay to get help. And it reminds me of the recent My Hero Academia episode. Hey! Shout out to anime. I don't watch My Hero Academia, but the villain said that Deku's ultimate strength, the main character's ultimate strength, is his weakness and reliability on others' strength. Hold up. Hold up. So, despite how paradoxical it may seem like a paradox. My ultimate strength is my weakness, and my reliability on other strength, the strength of other people. Hey, that anime is on some otherworldly advanced mentalities. But basically, Motive said he's watching My Hero Academia and he's saying the villain said Deku's ultimate strength is his weakness and reliability on other people's strength, but that ultimately, and with the help of others collectively, he harnesses that and becomes the strongest. Yep, that's the power of friendship, the power of networking, the power of community, because it goes back to that principle of two heads are better than one. Think about that. And ask yourself why. If you deep down, like your higher self knows that that's true, and you're telling yourself that statement is true, that if you're telling yourself that core principle of two heads are better than one is true, ask yourself why. Why are two heads better than one? And what you'll come to realize is that there's so much untapped potential in the power of community and networking and friendship that is essential for self-improvement and self-actualization. So, my man says, okay. I like your comments so far, y'all. I really appreciate your comments. YouTube handle name says, everything is destined to happen anyway. What will happen will happen. So why I'm depressed if what happened will happen anyway? That's a very good question to ask. See, I can already tell you're one of those free thinkers because it's actually rare for people to ask this. Like, and that's kind of another paradoxical thing. Do we have free will or are we destined to just make decisions and we have no power? See, I have I have to perceive it as a mix, like a blend. Like I feel like God is intelligent enough because God is infinite intelligence. Look at the design of the universe, okay? We can look at how fine-tuned the universe is and make the assumption that God was also infinitely intelligent enough to create a blend of free will and destiny. Free will and destiny. Like God had to somehow create a way for us to live life with an experience of free will and destiny. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But yes, there's a lot of wisdom to be extracted from that because if I'm depressed, I'm depressed, you know? If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm joyful, I'm joyful. If I'm fearful, I'm fearful. There's got to be there's something there to it that I cannot put my finger on, but I might get back to that later for sure. So, yeah, X, the platform X is all negativity, all nonsense, all racism, all rage bait, 90% bots, 90% political propaganda that is either propagated by brainwashed people or by Russian bots. And that's why I regret waking up this morning and hopping on that platform because it set the foundation for the rest of the day. But even if it does set the foundation for the rest of the day, we can, in this hour, basically generate positive momentum. Like we can start walking the other direction and basically like rejecting the negativity like this. We can legit start walking the positive direction in the right direction and reject all of the negative news that we came across today or all of the negative thoughts we had to endure. We can just be like, okay, screw it. Whatever happened earlier today, we can be like, all right, it don't matter to me no more. I'm gonna live in the present. And while living in the present, I'm gonna take actions right now that help build a better and sustainably better future. Ooh, that's a bar right there. You can legit create a better future by living in the present and taking actions that help build that better, sustainably better future. If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. Sometimes it don't make sense, but eventually it will make sense. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do see myself ending this live stream a little soon, but if the momentum of the audience and it starts expanding to like 5 to 10 people, I might have to keep going. Because when there's high demand, you got to provide for the people. But hey, man, I do see myself doing this every day. I do see myself being consistent because it's what the world needs. Right here, right now, ask yourself, what do I need and what does the world need? And what am I the best at? What does society need more of? How can society benefit from my strengths? And how can I benefit from my own strengths? How can I tap into that so I can generate positive momentum for the day? Even when there's 1,000 reasons, like I said, to be depressed. Obviously, I cannot tell you all 1,000 reasons. I don't mean that literally. I kind of mean that figuratively because it does feel like there's so many reasons to be negative and feel these negative emotions. And these are legitimate reasons. And it feels like there's 1,000 of these reasons to be depressed and anxious for the future and to be uncomfortable with the uncertainty. We don't know what the future holds. And it's so natural for us to ask, why does life have to be this hard? But I've asked myself that question too, and I just don't think we're meant to have a full understanding of why life is so hard. Maybe we're just meant to make the best out of our situation, even when we may not understand why life is so hard. We still just have to make the best of our situation, you know? Um, oh, thank you, man. I love you too. I really do. Like, I love you guys too, bro. Like, legit, there's gotta be a future. And it's a vision that I hold on to where there's even more people in live streams than this. Like, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We're gonna be making an even farther greater impact on society than what is currently being presented right now. Whatever's being presented right now, I'm comfortable with. I'm okay with it. I accept it. The current reality for what it is, I accept it. And I do the best I can right now. I don't have regret for the missed opportunities of the past. I'm just grateful right now that I've been given another chance by God, by the universe, that I've been given another chance. And I focus on seizing the moment that I have right now, seizing the opportunity that is so golden and an opportunity I might never get again. So that's kind of something I'm focused on, is that, okay, I'm here now. And although there's a lot of negativity around me, I don't have to become that negativity. I can just stick to what's true, and that's my higher self. I can stick to my vision that God has planted within me, and basically basically if I cannot sprint, I can run. If I cannot run, I can walk. If I cannot walk, I'm gonna crawl towards the fulfillment of that vision. Okay? That's what Martin Luther King Jr. said. Like, if we cannot run, we must walk and do it in such a way that we fulfill our vision. We get closer to the fulfillment step by step, in the midst of so many reasons to stop walking, or in the midst of so many reasons to turn around and go back to our old habits, our old ways, our old self, and all this negativity. We can leave it in the past by moving forward, or we can turn back around and do the wrong thing and go right back to that negative past that we promised ourselves that we wouldn't go back to. Of course, I don't know the full extent as to why, but it is harder to keep moving forward. And it's a lot easier to go back to our old ways. So let's do what's hard. Let's do what's hard, even if we ask why it's hard. Pause. That has so many connotations to it. It might get clipped out of context, but let's just do what is hard, even if we may not understand why it is hard. Let's not lose sight of what is possible when we just believe that our vision and our dream life and our ideal self is so close and within our grasp. We just got to keep moving forward towards the fulfillment of that vision. It's within our grasp. Like a boat that is sailing to an island. We are all in the same boat, humanity collectively, but also us as a brotherhood. As a brotherhood, we're in the same boat sailing to that island. It's up to us how fast we sail and how fast we, you know what I'm saying, generating positive momentum within this boat, within this ship, to get to our destination. That's crazy. I know. It's a lot to take in. I know. It's a lot to take in. It's so much to take in. There's so much information overload these days. That's why quitting all these short form social media platforms like X with all the negative tweets out, quitting Instagram Reels with all the AI generated and stuff and rage bait. That's why quitting social media short form content is more important now than ever, and why we have to basically direct our attention towards live streams and long form YouTube videos is for that very reason itself. For the purpose of connection, the purpose of unification, the purpose of reminding ourselves of very empowering truths. empowering truths that remind us of the sparkle of hope that we can cling on to, that we are creating a better future. Even despite the circumstances that are negative, we are still creating a better future. And we cannot be distracted by that. We cannot let short form social media distract us from that fact. You know what I'm saying? That's why I prefer live streams and long form YouTube videos. But hey man, whatever your preference is, you know what I'm saying? I haven't even ate yet. I gotta go. I'm sorry, y'all. I will read all your comments and then, you know what I'm saying? I'll do this again sometime this week. I love you too, bro. And I do appreciate the opportunity to be real and to make real change. Um, you give short form and live streaming a chance along with videos, all three. Yes, yes. Give them a chance, including playlist, podcast, courses, all different styles of being capable of great content over time. Absolutely. That type of nuanced thinking will take you very, very far in this life. It actually already has taken you far, but it'll take you farther when you actually like think nuanced like that, because it's creative. It's a sign of a very creative mind, a mind that finds solutions and a mind that is seeking the truth. That's just what we got to do. All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Like I wish all of you the best as well. Peace. Exactly, motives. See, I was frozen right there, low key. You saw that? I was frozen. Motive said, I feel is also the reason why there's a lack of positivity or surge of negativity is definitely the emptiness. It's the fake content, it's the fake tweets. It's just distractions from higher truths that our higher selves promote when we decide to listen and look within and hear our higher self, but we distract ourselves with that external social media, which are so often operating on negative vibrations. You know what I'm saying? But thank you. You have a good early December too, man. I'll catch y'all later for sure.